Burger sauces and hot dog sauces are so popular right now, and the best I've had come from Chicago and Big Fork brands. Along with Chicago's finest sauces, Big Fork also has delicious bacon sausage, mouth-watering bacon hot dogs, keto and paleo-friendly meat sticks, and a whole lot more. And you're going to get a big 20% discount right now when you go to tjritchie.com/deals and use the code GANG at checkout. Do it now. You're going to love it.
News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT proudly presents America's coolest conservative. Well, proudly could be stretching it a bit. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show.
Hey, friends. How are you? I'll tell you how I am. I am so unprofessional that I almost knocked down every computer screen in front of me trying to get the microphone over here because after 30-something years in this business, I guess I forgot that you need a microphone. It's kind of like a plumber showing up without a pipe wrench. So, hey, where's my microphone? Oh, it's over there. Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of struggling tonight because I got that other job during the day. I still do a syndicated morning show every day with my partner, Riggins. It's called the TJ and Riggins Show. And I drank coffee on the way here. I don't know that helps me much. I should have taken coffee with a fistful of no-dos. You remember those things? Do people still take those caffeine tablets? They would always say, it's as safe as a cup of coffee. Well, actually, I think it's 2 cups of coffee going into your system at one time. It was great. It was fantastic. I loved it. I haven't had that in a while. You know why? Because I haven't had to be up for a long time in a while. But that's the sacrifice I'm making for you peoples. This is not for me. This is for you. So it wouldn't kill you to participate. I'm doing all I can do here. It's up to you to do the rest. 704-570-1110 is the phone number if you want to call in. But seriously, thank you. I really appreciate it if you're listening, and if I don't even care if you don't like it, as long as you're listening. I mean, you could not like it and still listen, and I would appreciate it, because that's the kind of SOB that I am. I'm kind like that. All right. I know there's a lot of stuff going on of a serious nature, and don't think that this story I'm leading with is not serious, because it is, or else I wouldn't be leading with it. This is a story that has made the national news about North Carolina, and it's a story about these snakehead fish. Now, I was on the cutting edge of the story of the snakehead fish back when we first heard about it years and years ago. And I live on Lake Norman, and I'm out there all the time on that water. I love it. And I said back then, if a fish gets into our rivers that has teeth, it looks like a snake, it eats everything in its path and can live on land, that's going to be a problem. I was the only one saying that. Actually, I wasn't. It was obvious. But it seems like every few months we get a story about how they've become more and more invasive, these snakehead fish. And the Charlotte Observer had an article that got picked up nationally and said this dangerous invasive fish in North Carolina can survive on land. Kill it ASAP. Well, of course, kill it ASAP. But this goes deeper than just a weird fish. But they say that the fish doesn't bother humans. Even in captivity, they say that the fish is shy, whatever that means. What do they do? Put their hand down in the tank to see if it bites them? Is that how you tell whether a fish is shy or not? Or are they flirting with the fish? And the fish kind of turns away sheepishly. What are they talking about? I don't care if you say that a fish with teeth and looks like a snake and can live on land is not going to attack humans or doesn't have a history of attacking humans, I don't care. He's still got to die. That fish has to die. And it says it eats up all the vegetation and like it eats everything else. Well, why would it not bite into a human? That's what I want to know. If it's eating everything else, vegetation, other fish, boats, docks, lake houses, it's eating everything out there, y'all. It's eating everything. Why won't it be eating humans? Now, I may be a little bit, I don't know, insensitive to this sort of thing because I did grow up in Louisiana. And in Louisiana, they have organized, if there's a species of any kind of animal that's causing problems in a community, they will put it in the paper. They'll put it on the news. Everybody who lives in this area, come out Friday night. We're having a town-wide or a city-wide hunt because we've got to thin out these things. One of the things is nutria. In Louisiana, the nutria, we call them nutri-rats, but they get so invasive that they mess up everything else for all the other animals and the drainage and everything else. So there have been times when entire towns, whole families showing up to kill the nutri-rats. However, I haven't seen anything about people eating the snakehead fish. I don't know whether you can eat those or not, but in Louisiana, if they kill it, they eat it. Now, I have never dined upon nutria, but I know a lot of people who have, and they love it. So, if there's too much nutri-rat breeding going on out there, people in Louisiana make the best of it. So, I don't know how you even fish for snakehead fish, how you would go about doing that. I know it's kind of become a thing on the internet where places that have already had these, they're so plentiful in their rivers and stuff that they make sport out of it. But I don't think it's anything to be playing with. Again, things that swim, that have sharp teeth and can live on land for 3 days or whatever it is, that's from the devil, is what that is. But seriously, where does it come from? It comes from communist China is where it comes from. That's where. It's another thing that the communist Chinese are putting on us over here. They said, you know what? We're going to put those snakehead fish on them over there in the freedom-loving U.S. of A. And if they don't like it, then we'll throw a pandemic on them. We'll throw a virus on them. Yeah. This is just another problem from China is what it is. And I think it's calculated and manufactured. Snakehead fish. In all seriousness, I have a real problem with people who have to have weird pets. And this is how this started. They wanted these weird pets over here. They smuggle them in. And they do whatever with them. And then they end up turning them loose in the rivers and all. And this is what we have. Don't even get me started on exotic pet people. And if you got a snake and you're saying, I know he's not talking about me, well, you don't know that for sure. Snake people who love being around snakes, you may be very nice, but to me, you got a screw loose. It's just my opinion. I don't know. I have a new friend here I just met tonight. George, do you have snakes?
I do not.
Okay, good. Well, then they're weird. Snake people are weird. If there are none in the room, then I say they're weird. But a snakehead fish is a problem now all over much of the US of A because somebody brought one in or two or three in from China and ended up saying, I don't want these anymore. Same with South Florida and all those boa constrictors and iguanas and all of that they just are overrun with now. what they're going to have to do is just call out Louisiana people to take care of everybody's invasive species problem. I know some people that can then get you who you need to be hooked up with. Get you started. All right, so on to some serious stuff. We have to discuss the situation with the firebombs from this alleged scumbag that was in the country illegally. I know you've heard about it all day, but you haven't heard my take on it. Obviously, it's going to be a sophisticated one, and we'll get to that coming up next.
More of the TJ Ritchie Show is coming up.
Burger sauces and hot dog sauces are so popular right now, and the best I've had come from Chicago and Big Fork brands. Along with Chicago's finest sauces, Big Fork also has delicious bacon sausage, mouth-watering bacon hot dogs, keto and paleo-friendly meat sticks, and a whole lot more. And you're going to get a big 20% discount right now when you go to tjritchie.com/deals and use the code GANG at checkout. Do it now. You're going to love it. Hey, it's TJ, and you may have heard I have a little talk show now. It's from 7 to 9 every weeknight on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT. And you can also watch it on YouTube. That's right, my beautiful face on YouTube. Go get signed up for the TJ Ritchie Show on YouTube. You can do that at tjritchie.com.
He's radio royalty in the Carolinas and Queen Charlotte's sweetest prince. It's TJ Ritchie on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
I got to tell you that Mr. Winterville, he almost ran over me getting out of here tonight. It was like his show ended at 6:05. He was running over the gate. He wasn't even waiting on the security thing to let him out. He was just like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." I don't know what he was going to do, but he was in a hurry to do it. I tried waving at him. He didn't even see. I don't even know that he would recognize me anyway. You know, being a superstar like he is and all. Just one of the plebes. But yeah, I mean, he was barreling out of here. So must be nice to have a life in the evenings, Mr. Winterbull. Ugh, gonna be another Luigi. He is a sweetheart. He's just saying, getting home before dark. Heck yeah, doing that. All right. So surely you've heard by now about the terror attack that happened in Boulder, Colorado over the weekend. The suspect's name is Mohammed Sabri Solomon. Homemade, well, I guess all Molotov cocktails are homemade, but throwing Molotov cocktails into a crowd of people who were at a peaceful protest or gathering for the hostages in Hamas. And these are elderly people not doing anything, harming anybody. But you got a maniac that is here illegally in U.S. America. And President Trump said that he was, quote, as part of Biden's ridiculous open border policy, which is true, and that he must go out under Trump policy. So Solomon got into U.S. America from Egypt in August 2022. He was on a tourist visa. I don't know what the interest rate is on that every month, but that tourist visa permitted him to stay in the country until February of 2023. He then filed for work authorization that granted him legal status until March 28th of this year. So he overstayed his first visa. Then he applied for legal status in another department, and even that had run out. So he'd been living here completely illegally for 2 months. You know what we call that, ladies and gentlemen? We call that an illegal alien. That's what we call that. Not an undocumented migrant. We call that an illegal alien. And according to a federal complaint, he threw the 2 homemade Molotov cocktails at members of an organization called Run for Their Lives. It was just a group walk to call attention to the plight of hostages held by Hamas after the October 7th, 2023 attack. Investigators say that Solomon yelled "Free Palestine" as he threw the incendiary devices. There were 14 more of those things found in a black plastic container near the site of the attack. So, I mean, he showed up planning to do some damage, according to the police. During an interview with federal authorities, the complaint states that Solomon said he, quote, wanted to kill all Zionist people and wished they were all dead, end quote. All right. You get it. You know what we're dealing with here. So, why would anybody who has any type of heart defend an activity like this? Why would anybody defend his being in this country to begin with? But these professional Democrats, most of them are rotten to the core, as my grandmother would say, because they don't care about people. I've probably said that every night since I've been on the air here. All they want is chaos. The professional Democrats in Washington, D.C. are anti-American, and that's why they act like they're such bleeding hearts for the downtrodden. You know. Now, you know they're going to be, well, they already are. Speaking of this incident as if, we need to understand all the facts. We need to know this. We need to know that. Now, listen, here's what happens. This is the result of these professional Democrats in D.C., these commucrats, Marxists who run the Democrat Party. This is the result of their preying upon the weak-minded and the emotional. And we get more into that coming up because it happened in South Carolina this weekend too. Not an attack, but part of this this Marxist agenda trying to rile people up and cause violence. All of these people that, you see marching and yelling about Israel conducting a genocide and apartheid. They know what they're doing. They know that they're riling these people up. They know that they're preying on them because this is the kind of stuff that professional Democrats in Washington, D.C. and the people who work for them, this is what they want. They want, I'm not saying that they're celebrating every time an innocent person gets killed in the name of one of their causes, but I think it's just like collateral damage to them because they're that rotten and thirsty for power. And that's why, I don't understand how it's possible for there to be any type of delay in taking a person who is capable of this sort of thing that's in this country illegally. How is there any delay in their exit? You have these rogue judges, all of these, terrible attorneys, these Democrat attorneys in black robes who are just on the bench to do what the professional Democrats want. The Marxists, fascists, tie up the system and keep people in, like this person, in the country as long as they possibly can. Champion people who believe like this guy does, while demonizing hardworking, freedom-loving Americans. That is today's Washington Democrats. Now, if you're just a regular Democrat voter, you do your thing every day and all of that, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your leaders. The people you vote for, that's what I'm talking about. You could be a good person in your heart. But the people you vote for, if they're Democrats, they're not. And there's so much proof of that, of what I'm saying, because they scream it from the mountaintops every day. They're out there. They're defending the people who don't need to be defended, and they're demonizing the people who should be defended. They're just completely backwards of the way America has always been and was meant to be. And we've got to vote them out. We've got to find some way to get through to those good-hearted Democrat voters and let them know, hey, you're voting for the wrong people. You're voting for this kind of stuff, not for what America should be. Okay. We have some audio to play next of a turnaround that has gone on that you can see this June that you couldn't see last June. All right. So getting into the societal aspect of the TJ Ritchie Show coming up next.
The TJ Ritchie Show.
Hey, it's TJ, and yes, it is going strong. The TJ Ritchie Show. It's my new political podcast on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT, and you need to sign up and get all the inside scoop on everything and get the special little perks by being a member of the Ritchie Gang. Be a gangster. Just go to tjritchie.com and sign up today.
He's America's coolest conservative. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I am well into my second week here at WBT. I feel like a veteran already. I've been around to meet probably 5 people that work here. So that's good. Okay. Here we go. This is June 2nd. And June is what is officially known as Pride Month in U.S. America. I don't know. Is it Pride Month all over the world? I don't know. So, this Pride Month is different than Pride Month last year. You're seeing corporate sponsors that are pulling out of sponsoring pride parades in the big cities and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know when the pride parade is in Charlotte. It was this past weekend. How come, Lonnie, you were supposed to tell me so I could be there? Dang, man. I had the perfect outfit too. I just got my roller skates oiled up. Cause I can't walk that far, a whole parade route. I'd have to skate a little bit. My rollerblades. Anyway, but I don't know. Here's something funny. At one of the radio stations I used to work at in Charlotte, when I was part of the when it was the Ace and TJ show, and I would say something that would be a joke at the expense of liberals. I've told you they can't stand it. They hate jokes at their expense. So when I would make a joke, you would hear from them, the management would get calls and voicemails on their office lines and direct messages and emails. And, it was just like, the slightest little joke at their expense, it would just be, pearl clutching all over the place. And so they finally said to me, the management, no more politics. We do not want any political views or anything about politics on this radio station. This is a top 40 station. No more political stuff. And I go, okay, forget that, your audience has a lot of conservatives in it that think the jokes are funny, but you're scared. You can't handle a little bit of criticism from the left because they're hysterical. There's somebody that's, I don't mean to brag or anything, but carrying your radio station, basically. Fine. I'm not kidding you. That happened, and then maybe 2 days later, they're all excited, running up and down the halls going, hey, did y'all see the new stickers and T-shirts we got to hand out for the Pride Parade? Okay, well, that's a political... never mind. Never mind. But anyway, the LGBTQ plus community is complaining because they're losing some of their big sponsors and things like that because of the because of people doing away with their DEI programs and things like that. Now, let me say, and I've said this before on the show, one of my biggest pet peeves in life in this country is true rotten homophobia. Somebody who hasn't done anything to you, hasn't tried to infringe upon your life in any way, and you just hate them because they're gay. I don't have patience for that. And another one is true rotten racism. I don't have patience for that. Okay. Now, it's a different story when somebody is trying to force their lifestyle on you or me or kids or whatever, when it's something we don't want forced on ourselves or on the kids. And this is a video clip that's going around the social medias, the TikToks and the Instagrams and stuff. And it is a lady complaining when she shows up at her Target store that she loves.
Happy Pride Month. In my Target that used to have the Pride section, it's now all USA. Yay. It's an American summer. Except for tourism, because tourism's down because no one wants to come here. USA, woo! And honestly, my dad serves in the military, and I'd love to be really proud of this nation, but it's hard to be proud of it under Donald Trump. But hey, while you're here, pick up a USA bikini. Why not?
It's just it's the smugness. It's the condescension with which she speaks. That's just so disgusting. Now look, I am a proud hetero. I am a very proud hetero. But if they had a section at Target for hetero clothes and I showed up and they had a section, the section of hetero clothes were gone for patriotic clothes, I would be like, right on. Good. God bless America. So you see, when your lifestyle or your views or whatever you think trump America in general, and you speak in these hyperbolic phrases and stuff like, how can you be blah, 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 blah. My dad served in the military and I wish I could be proud to be from this country, but blah, blah, blah. You just sound stupid. Not once while Biden was president or Obama, when Chairman Obama was president, I never ever said I'm ashamed of this country. You know why? Because I got some sense. That's why. You just sound like a fool. And I know this is radio. You're probably wondering what she looked like. Just picture her. And that's what she looked like. Looks unhappy. Mean look on her face. Just so. Looks like that teacher that everybody hated in elementary school that they were scared of. That's what she looked like. So you know what I'm saying. And the the thing about Target is that their customers spoke. You know, Target went through some rough times when they were marketing trans stuff to children and having, the tuck bathing suits for kids and all of that stuff. My wife was devastated. We didn't go to Target for a long time. Then when I finally said, "Hey, did you see the news today? Target has come back to, common sense." Before I got the word sense out of my mouth, she was already at Target. She was like, "Thank God," and kissed the floor. "I've missed you so much." See, the women just love Target for some reason. I think it's because they think they're supposed to. That's why. But I have one more thought on this that I don't have time to get into right now, and it's just strictly a personal opinion of mine that I don't understand why more people don't raise a stink about it. So I guess we'll get into that. I hope Lonnie didn't have to go lock the doors or something because people are threatening. But we'll get into the next opinion coming up next.
It's TJ Ritchie.
Burger sauces and hot dog sauces are so popular right now, and the best I've had come from Chicago and Big Fork brands. Along with Chicago's finest sauces, Big Fork also has delicious bacon sausage, mouth-watering bacon hot dogs, keto and paleo-friendly meat sticks, and a whole lot more. And you're going to get a big 20% discount right now when you go to tjritchie.com/deals and use the code GANG at checkout. Do it now. You're going to love it.
I have found the best Father's Day gift site, DistillUnion.com. Distill Union crafts sleek, problem-solving essentials like Wally wallets and Ferris key organizers, designed with a less is more philosophy. Their durable, intuitive products simplify everyday routines with style. So go to tjritchie.com/deals and get 20% off using code GANG, or head to DistillUnion.com.
Radio, podcasts, and cool social media content. Get all the TJ you can handle at WBT.com/TJ. Now, back to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
No, crank it up. There we go. Sorry, I'm giving the wrong hand signals. Yeah, you gotta feel this a little bit. They dedicated their entire concert to me the other night. A lot of people don't know that. They didn't as much, like say it, but I could tell. I wasn't even there, and people said that the signals they were giving off from the stage, Metallica dedicated their whole show to me. And I appreciate it. Them's my boys. Them is my boys. Okay, one last thing about two things. First of all, my crack team of producers here, we're not even close as to when the Pride Parade is. It's a festival and it happens in August, right? So I got time. I got time to lose these last 51 vanity pounds to get in shape for it. So I'll be ready. But about the pride stuff in general, I am a wordsmith and I'm a protector of the language. How do we just let the word pride that has had a meaning, a definition for years and years and years and years, how do we just let that go? To now, it's just something completely different. The definition of the word pride is a high or inordinate opinion of one's own dignity, importance, merit, or superiority, whether as cherished in the mind or as displayed in bearing, conduct, etc. The state or feeling of being proud, a becoming of dignified sense of what is due to oneself or one's position or character, self-respect, self-esteem. Now, I don't mind the word pride being used in other ways, but it needs a qualifier to it, It's just like when people say, "Ooh, he's got an attitude." Well, what kind of attitude? Good attitude, bad attitude, winning attitude, losing attitude? You can't just throw out words and then they just mean something else. One day, it used to be called the Gay Pride Parade. That's what it was called, and that makes complete sense. But then you got all these other LGBTQ plus, all of the other ones. So it can't just be Gay Pride Parade. So then they just say, well, we don't feel like mentioning all of those, so it's just pride. We own the word pride now. I beg to differ. So I'm calling on all people in the I hear them say queer community now a lot. Y'all need to get together and I'll work with you to come up with a qualifier so it's not just the word pride anymore. Because pride already had a meaning. But you know what dictionary.com has is its number one definition for pride? Recognition of LGBTQ identity. So that's the official definition now. But I don't buy that. No. We got to work together to come up with something because the language is what it is. We need a word in front of it so everybody knows what kind of pride. I feel like I'm, fighting a battle all alone in that one. But think about it, and I'm right. Okay. There is a situation that is getting more and more, I don't want to say popular, but you're seeing it more and more because it's not popular. Do y'all know what reborn dolls are? You guys in the studio here, reborn dolls? They're little baby dolls that look very realistic. And women are now using these realistic, hyper-realistic, they call them baby dolls, and pretending like they're real babies. So they walk around and they push them in strollers and they carry them and they act like they're feeding them, and they do. These are adults who are doing this and pretending like they are real. Now, I'm not making fun of this because I think it's an illness that doesn't need to be coddled. Because if you know somebody who is just a typical adult woman and she's pretending like a baby doll is a real baby, and if she has people around her who go along with it and enable this, then they ought to be ashamed of themselves. This is a person who needs help. Now, I'm not talking about somebody who's, has a mental condition or anything like that. I'm talking about just a woman who likes to play pretend and has gotten to the point where she's lost touch with reality. Now, in Brazil, it's more prevalent because I think that's where these dolls are made. So much so that lawmakers are fighting about this. And one of the reasons why is because they have government health care. And they say that some of these women are showing up with their babies at the hospital wanting medical care for the baby dolls. Now, I know that people are all sensitive about who are you to judge what makes them happy and whatever. Now, I know that these dolls are used in nursing homes a lot of times. They're used in situations where women have experienced trauma. And that's why I said if it's not something like that, and it's just, otherwise a regular, everyday, run-of-the-mill woman, then that woman needs help. I mean, it's just like, and there are cases of this as well. They make these, but they're called real dolls. I don't want to get too graphic with it because I know that people are listening with their children, and I don't want to get too graphic with it. But they're men use these dolls because they're so lifelike and they're for a certain activity. Okay, got it. And there are cases where men are falling in love with these dolls and quote unquote marrying them and treating them as if they are a human wife. Those guys need help as well. They need to go to the hospital. Just like, otherwise normal women walking around pretending that a baby doll is their real baby, and they're looking for, taking it to a wellness check or their yearly checkup and all of that stuff. Somebody should just go ahead and say, all right, well, let us go back here and take a look at the baby. You go with these people in the scrubs, and they're going to fill out some paperwork for you. And then they need to put her in the hospital because she needs help. I mean, in that other case where they're marrying inanimate objects and stuff, I've said all along, because they have big weddings, if you show up at somebody's wedding and they're marrying a doll, then you probably need to go to the hospital with them. I mean, come on. And I guess this is tonight's segment of what we call What is Wrong with People. If my best friend, or my brother let's say my brother gets divorced and he tells me that he's fallen in love with a real doll and that they're getting married and he wants me to come be his best man, I would say, you must be out of your mind And anybody who goes along with that is a weirdo as well. And you say, well, it's because, we support him and love him. But you don't really support him and love him, or you would try to get him some help. You don't really support these women who are pretending like dolls or babies, or you would get them some help. My best friend's name is, I call her my little friend Jenny. And she's in her early 40s. And if all of a sudden she came to me, because she doesn't have any kids, and she said, look, this is my baby now, and it's a baby doll. And she said, I need to take him for his checkup. I would say, let me take you somewhere first. And we're going to go very slowly.
More of the TJ Ritchie Show is coming up.
Hey, it's TJ, and yes, my new political show is on. It's every weeknight from 7 until 9 on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT. So go ahead and add TJ Ritchie to your home screen on the phone and download the WBT app.
News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT proudly presents America's coolest conservative. Well, proudly could be stretching it a bit. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show.
Hello. Welcome to hour 2. Ramming, jamming, slamming. Seems like we just started an hour ago. And it has flown by. 704-570-1110 if you want to call. Actually, that's the number even if you don't want to call. 704-570-1110. 1110. Okay. Here we go. There was a big event in South Carolina this weekend. I mean, huge. Governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, former vice presidential candidate with Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, a man among men, was speaking to a bunch of commucrats in Columbia. And he said that it's time to get tough with President Trump.
The governor's being mean, and the governor's speaking out on that. Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. And again, I'll speak to my teacher colleagues in here. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully, to watch this bully and to stop it. And when it's a child, you talk to them and you tell them why bullying's wrong. But when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the out of him back. Oh. You push back. You make sure they know it's not there. Because at heart, this is a weak, cruel man that takes it out and punches down on people.
What a tough hombre this Tim Walz continues to prove himself to be. Oh, my goodness. Seems like he just stepped off the cast of Yellowstone. I mean, this is a rugged man. Woo! Nobody wants to cross him. I'll tell you that right now. And you know how you know he's tough and he's a man? Because he cussed in his speech. Oh, my goodness. He cussed to all his fellow teachers out there. What a joke. Tim Walz was brought on to the campaign. Remember, they told us that when the Democrats did that whole coup and put Kamala Harris in, when they staged Biden to show how his dementia was taken over. Yeah, I still think I'm the only one that thinks that, I believe, but I think that they put him out in that debate because they wanted to show where he was mentally so they could get him out. You can't put anything past these people, because think about how many public appearances he had done where they had medicated him enough to where he would come out and perform and you go, wow, that came out of nowhere. Who would have thought he could stand up there and speak for that long and blah, blah, blah. So they knew what they were doing, in my opinion, when they put him out in that first debate, because they wanted Kamala to be in there. And why? Because Barack Obama and his people run the Commucrat Party, and Barack Obama has always had a thing for Kamala Harris. Yes, I said it. Barack Obama has always had a thing for Kamala Harris. Look it up. Go back and check the files of him introducing her as America's best-looking attorney general when she was attorney general of California. Oh, I know about this stuff. Okay, so here's Tim Walz. He's supposed to be the masculine balance to Kamala Harris. Football coach. Oh, tough military football coach. He was a commander in the National Guard. And then when it came time for his unit to go to war, he decided he didn't want to be there anymore, and he left them. Said, oh, nope. Y'all can go over there without me. I'm going to be the big man over here where I'm not getting shot at. Then they had him, you remember, they had him playing some kind of video football game, Madden or something, against, was it AOC he was playing against? And he said something about, she was pretty good. She runs a great pick six, but she got da-da-da. And he was saying pick six like it was a defensive scheme, like it was a defense, like the 4-3 or cover 2, something like that. And so people were supposed to say, wow, he really knows about football. Look at this. He must be a manly man. He's tough. He's masculine. A pick six is, in case you don't keep up with the football, a pick is what an interception is. So when the defensive man takes the ball that is thrown to the offensive man and he steps in front of it and catches it to run the other way, that's an interception or a pick. He picked it off. And a touchdown is worth 6 points. So if he picks it off, runs it to the other end zone, scores a touchdown, he scored 6 points, so it is a pick six. Okay. Now, I knew Tim Walz was not a manly man from the very first time he was put on the national stage. Because remember, this is what he was famous for saying when he came out to speak, and he was talking about Donald Trump.
But in Minnesota, just like in Wisconsin, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choices for ourselves, because we know there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Oh, girl.
Mind your own damn business.
Did you hear that, girl? He said, mind your own damn business. We got a rule. Mind your own damn business. Did you hear that, Marge? I said, mind your own damn business. All you bees hear that? I heard that and I said, there is no way they're really going to push this guy off as being masculine. You hear me? You hear me? Mind your own damn business. We got a saying in Minnesota, like in Wisconsin. Mind your own damn business. Girlfriend. Queen. Slay, and mind your own damn business. I'm Tim Walz. I wear camouflage, coach football, mind my own damn business. That's what I do. I'm just trying to get that new Hermes bag, the Birkin, so I can mind my own business and look good while I'm doing it. Reminds me of, I don't know how, if anybody's old enough to remember Paul Lynn on the Match Game back in the 70s. That's what he reminds me of. Well, I got to mind my own damn business. You know, Gene, I'm trying to mind my business. I'm basically a biker. I could be in the Hells Angels if I wanted to. I'm just too tough for them. Vote Tim Walz for everything. All right. So, I'm sure we'll be coming back to that a little bit before the show ends this hour. But there's a new AI program that is going to get a lot of people in trouble. It's going to be a huge problem in our society. We'll get into that coming up next.
The TJ Ritchie Show.
Burger sauces and hot dog sauces are so popular right now, and the best I've had come from Chicago and Big Fork brands. Along with Chicago's finest sauces, Big Fork also has delicious bacon sausage, mouth-watering bacon hot dogs, keto and paleo-friendly meat sticks, and a whole lot more. And you're going to get a big 20% discount right now when you go to tjritchie.com/deals and use the code GANG at checkout. Do it now. You're going to love it.
Identifying liberalism and mocking it relentlessly. This is the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Well, I'm scared now. I was talking too much. I let my mouth get out in front of me too much. I'm afraid that big bad Tim Walz is going to want to come fight me now. What am I going to do? What am I going to do, y'all? I'm sorry, Tim. I didn't mean to say that you weren't masculine, because everybody knows you are. Everybody knows it. You know what I'm going to do from now on, Tim? I'm going to do like you said. I'm just going to mind my own damn business. Let you be the man. But you know, that's what these Marxists do. They go out and they rile up people like we were talking about earlier. And that's what, you know, Tim Walz is a textbook Marxist. He goes out there, he riles up people. Let's get it, like, you know, Maxine Waters. We got to get in their face and tell them they are not welcome here. You get in their face. You know, they go out there and say all that stuff. Like Tim Walz is saying, you got to start, you know, bullying the blank out of Trump and bullying the blank out of this and this. And he knows that people hearing that in his audience are going to want to reach out in violence, because that's what the left is. The violence is on the left when it comes to political violence in domestic terrorism, in all of these wild, violent protests and everything. It's always on the left. So you get somebody like Tim Walz, who goes out and riles up a crowd and he knows it's going to be covered all over the nation. And some of these, you know, weak-minded people who are, you know, ripe for a cult leader will go do some kind of violence because people deserve it. You're right. You're right, Matt. But, you know, he talks all tough, but if it came down to it, what could he do to somebody, you know, physically? Nothing. You know, they hide behind the mobs, which, you know, is why we don't live in a democracy. I hate when people say we live in a democracy or our democracy. We don't. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic that is governed by laws. You know, a democracy is if all of a sudden because I am a charismatic speaker, a charismatic leader. I got the riz, as the kids say. And I went out and I whipped up a bunch of people. Let's say there are 5,000 people in the parking lot here at the mighty WBT. And I jumped up on the tailgate of my truck and I started saying, hey, there's a guy in there and his name is Lonnie, and he seems like he's super nice, but he's not. He is evil, and he needs to be thrown in prison tonight. And then Lonnie walks out the door, and those 5,000 people attack him, say, you got to go to prison, and they throw him in a dungeon. That's a democracy, mob rule. That's not what we live in. But you get somebody like Tim Walz, who's a weak man. A weak Marxist man. And he goes out and talks tough. And you know how he's tough is because he cussed in his speech. That's what Democrats do. It's sick. Sick. You know, there was a great television series several years ago starring Kevin Bacon. It was called The Following, and it was about a murderous cult. And their charismatic leader was obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe. And he convinced these people to go out and act out in violence amongst people that he determined to be his enemies. That's what Democrat leaders are today. That's the way they operate, these leftist leaders. Because, I mean, that's where the violence comes from, the left. Perfect example of that over the weekend in Colorado. Okay. There's a new, several new apps that are AI. They're AI applications, and like one of them is called Kissing Crush AI. Okay? It seems fun enough. What it does is it'll take a picture of you and then take a picture that you give it of your crush, somebody on which you have a crush. And the AI generator makes a video of the two of you making out. Okay? Well, you know, that seems fun and all that, but let's just think this through. It looks realistic, you know, just like those babies who are, you know, they are all the rage now with the women online, where the babies are doing, I don't know, Bernie Mac routines and things like that. Acting out scenes from Mormon housewives or what. Women love that. So let's say it looks realistic of someone making out with another person. Are we really thinking this through? I know it's all supposed to be in fun. It's just your crush or whatever. But what if you have a crush on somebody else's man and you make this and it looks like their boyfriend is making out with you? That's not right. Or vice versa. You have a crush, especially guys who may want a certain woman or girl, and they make an AI video that looks like they're making out. What in the world makes people think that's a good idea? Not to mention, what if you got married people that are being messed with like this? Or, you know, people who are in serious relationships. Hey, Lonnie, you got a girlfriend, y'all are a serious relationship and all that. Y'all are meant to be together and that whole thing. You love her.
Yeah,
she loves you. Y'all love each other. And let's say she's scrolling social media one day while you're at work and runs across some woman's social media account where she's got you and her making out. What's she going to do?
It's over. And
at least for a few minutes, you're going to have a lot to explain.
I already got one gash in my head. I'll probably be getting another one. So
it'd be natural to think that if she doesn't know anything about this trend that's going on, even if she does, she'd go, why does she think it's okay to do that? Have you led her on to think that you want to make out with her or something? And that's why she's doing it?
she's gonna take it upon herself to believe what she's gonna believe, and then I'm gonna wake up later.
Yeah. Oddly enough, women tend to do that. Well, there's got to be some reason that she did that. Then it's going to be on all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not something to play around with. You think more women will be doing that, or more guys will be using that app?
I would say more women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing women like to play with.
Yeah.
Lou, look, because I mean, it's just like when when they were young before social media and all.
Yeah.
And girls would pretend to kiss pictures in magazines and stuff of the teen heartthrobs and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the high tech teens will be doing this stuff. George, are you married?
No.
Okay, but if you were and your wife saw that, would she wait to get an explanation, or is she gonna be mad first?
She would probably hear an explanation, but yeah, it wouldn't be a good outcome.
No, I don't think it would with anybody, and you can't blame them really, because I've seen it. I've seen the videos, and they look real. Because I mean, they're taking real pictures of the real person and people, and they're putting them together. That's why people need to find the Lord. They start doing stuff like that. I mean, everybody thinks these robots are going to be bad business. Whew. I don't know. It's all messed up. That's why I don't have any computers, except for these that are in front of me here and the ones that I have at home. Other than that, I don't believe in computers. I don't believe in computers or banks. I bury my computers in the backyard with all my money in them. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just making up stuff at this point. So I guess I need to take a break. All right. So there's a lady who says that she does not send her kids to school in the final week of classes. And we'll let her tell us why. Coming up next.
It's TJ Ritchie.
Hey, it's TJ, and the TJ Ritchie Show will be a multi-touch marketing option for all the cool businesses in town. I have no idea what that means. That was written by our business department, obviously, for me to read. If you're a cool business, I guess you know what it means. So go to tjritchie.com and find out more.
Late, live, and local. It's the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Yay. I really don't know what that means. I've heard Ice Cube say it a lot. That could be some sort of drug reference, and I don't need to be saying it. Okay. Well, the phone number, 704-570-1110. I have worked for several radio stations that the phone number starts 704-570, and you have no idea how many times I've almost said the phone numbers to those other radio stations. But I have not. You know why? Because I'm just that good. That I'm a radio professional, and I don't give out the wrong number. But I will at some point. I know I will. Okay, before we get into to this last week of school thing that this mom does, I just realized I haven't talked to anybody on the phone so far in this show. So let's fix that, shall we? This is Wayne, and Wayne is from Lake Wiley, and that's where those snakehead fish are.
That's right.
In the Lake Wiley.
I called you. Yeah, I called you. I told you I would be calling you occasionally, and I may or may not be the drunk Wayne, and I'm still not the drunk Wayne.
Okay.
But I will tell you a quick little story. Again, I don't live on Lake Wiley, but I live close to it. I have a boat in the water. We were out at the South Sandbar down in Rock Hill, and this past weekend, the Saturday, pretty much all day. Mm-hmm. And we were hanging out, and there was this one girl that came up to my boat. Now, okay, I'm 5'7", maybe 150. My wife's a little heavier, 5'4", 200.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a good-looking dude, kind of, maybe. my wife's gorgeous in my eyes, and she's gorgeous anyway. But this one girl came up and was like, she had her phone, took a picture of me. She's like, what are you doing with that girl? So when you were talking about that AI thing, it immediately, and nothing's popped up yet, nothing showed up, but I was like, I wonder if that's what she was trying to do. She was hitting on me, obviously.
Yeah.
And then thank God my wife didn't see it, and I would never tell my wife because she would jump off the boat and just body slam her. But I was like, I wonder if that's something that's going to happen to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're as good looking as you say, it probably will sooner or later.
No. I'm saying I'm a decent looking young man.
Yeah, but I mean, if you just
52.
got strange women rolling up just trying to take your picture like paparazzi, I mean, you must, be a Mark Wahlberg on a boat out there.
You're on Lake Norman. Yeah, you're on Lake Norman. And again, I don't live on the lake. I just have a boat on the. Have you ever been down to South Sandbar on Lake Wiley?
Yeah, by car, I've been to those Lake Wiley places where the restaurants are and stuff. But I haven't been out on the water on Lake Wiley.
But yeah, it can get a little.
Yeah, I hear it's crazy.
Little Rock Hill, little South Carolina crazy. But yeah, I'm like, when you said that, I'm like, good God, I hope I don't see anything.
Well, you might. You see yourself making out with some AI woman, See, because I don't have to worry about that.
My wife was with me the whole time, so my wife's from Catawba County, if you know what I'm talking about.
No.
And that's Catawba County, but they call it Catawba. If you're a true Catawba County, that's what they call it. They say they're from Catawba.
All right. Well, you be careful out there flitting around and flaunting your good looks in front of those women, those thirsty women.
Nothing wrong. I had my boys on the boat. We were doing everything good.
All right. I know you just can't help it if women are going crazy taking your picture and stuff. It's not your fault.
All right, TJ, I love you, bro. I love your show, man, and I'm the one of the that I can only imagine some of the calls you get that they don't know your wit and banter yet, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Have a good night, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye. I mean, if a man is that good looking, he can't help it. See, I'm not worried about any of that because I'm pretty candy coated, if you know what I'm saying. All this 5'8" candy coated frame of mine, my days of being handsome, I think, are over. I have to come to realize that. Although if I lost weight, I'd be super handsome still. I'd be looking like, I don't know, Danny DeVito. If I lost a few pounds, I'd get down to Danny DeVito's size and height. I'd really be looking good. Okay. So here is we got time for this. Here's a woman who professed something that she does with her children in the last week of school every year. So listen.
Do you make your kid go to school the last day of school? Do you make your kid go to school the last week of school? I don't make my kids go to school the last couple days of school. I don't see the point. Most of the teachers would rather you keep your kids home anyway, at least around here. My parents, they made us go to school every single day, all the way to the very last day of school every year. I have cleaned a lot of desks. That is what we did the last week of school when I was a kid. So what was the point of sending me to school on the last few days of school? But I'm not doing that with my kids. Stay home, baby. It's summertime. Time to go.
Now, that makes sense to me. If the government is turning your kid into little worker bees on the last week of school, I wouldn't want to send them either. But you see, that's the way the government schools work, is that they got to be there a certain number of days, even if they're not learning anything on those days, even if they're watching movies. See, that when I was a kid, when we'd get through with finals and whatever else we had to do, the last few days before it was, pick up your report card day, which was the last day, we would watch movies during the day and stuff like that. And the teacher would go talking to the other teachers in the halls, and as long as you were quiet, they didn't care. But Yeah, I mean, this having to clean desks and stuff like that. No. That's what they do to, that the government's in charge. Now, most people probably wouldn't look at it that deeply, but you never can be too careful. You can't be too careful about what them governments is going to do. Them government agents hiding behind chalkboards. Well, in front of chalkboards, dry erase boards. They don't use chalk anymore. I don't know. Let's see. How long we got about? Hey, April.
Yes.
Hey, can you say what you have to say in about 2 minutes, or should you hold over till the next break?
Oh, no. All I need to say is I've been a long-time listener since Ace and TJ, and then I missed my call on Friday.
You missed your call on Friday?
Yes, I didn't make it. My husband wanted me to call on Women's Friday.
Okay. So yeah, Ladies' Night Friday. You didn't make.
Yes,
okay.
Ladies' Night.
That's all right. It doesn't have to be Ladies' Night for women's to call. We'll take women's
but my
all the
husband's
time.
like, I felt bad because there was not a lot of women that called in.
Well, they were just a lot of them were too crazy to go on the radio.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
they were. They were frantic.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. They were like, screaming and carrying on. You'd think that Elvis said, call me. You know how they are. You know how y'all are, April.
Well, yeah. It happens with us Southern women. It happens.
Yeah, they were like, I get a chance to talk to him for real, person to person. Oh, I can't stand it. They had to go, like, they were trying to fix their hair and stuff. It was bad. Man, I hate to put that kind of pressure on them, so...
Oh, goodness.
Well, tell your husband thanks for trying to get you to be in part of Ladies' Night, and I appreciate you listening for so long and now listening to the new show. I need all the help I can get. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
All right. Talk to you later.
Too.
Bye.
Bye.
How sweet. How sweet is that? So sweet. So sweet. That's how sweet. All right. Let's see. The last segment is going to be huge because something happened 10 years ago that was the kickoff of a giant movement in our country that proves that it does not take long for something to get completely out of control. What is it? We'll find out coming up next.
The TJ Ritchie Show.
Burger sauces and hot dog sauces are so popular right now, and the best I've had come from Chicago and Big Fork brands. Along with Chicago's finest sauces, Big Fork also has delicious bacon sausage, mouth-watering bacon hot dogs, keto and paleo-friendly meat sticks, and a whole lot more. And you're going to get a big 20% discount right now when you go to tjritchie.com/deals and use the code GANG at checkout. Do it now. You're going to love it.
Bringing the heat.
Oh, hot, hot, hot.
Whatever that means. This is the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I think the sun is falling on the city, and at this point, it's starting to get dark. I'm sure the lights of the skyline are on. It's so beautiful. It's very beautiful. I love Charlotte's skyline. When I was doing mornings for so many years in Charlotte with the Ace and TJ show, every morning I would look over, and as I drove past the skyline, I would think, this big city is going to be waking up to me soon. Every morning I would think that. Now, when I leave here at night, I look a different angle of the skyline, and I think, damn, I wish I was still on in the mornings. I'm kidding. I thought I was about to be all sentimental in there, but no, I'm just joking. I love this. I love, even though it's only been a week, I'm having a ball doing this. I've always wanted to do it. And I still work in the mornings. I have a syndicated morning show. It's called the TJ and Riggins Show. You can find out about all of those kinds of things. Just go to WBT.com/TJ and you can link to all of the social medias and everything there, and podcasts and stuff. Or you can go to TJRitchie.com. My wife and I even do a podcast. It's great. It's awesome. Yep. All right. Time flies, doesn't it? Yesterday marked the 10th anniversary of Caitlyn Jenner, aka Caitlyn Jenner, introducing himself to the world. The famous Vanity Fair cover landed June 1st, 2015, with the headline, "Call Me Caitlyn." So, do you remember 10 years ago that was such a huge story? Bruce Jenner had a sex change operation. Or Bruce Jenner thinks he's a woman. Remember that? And in 10 short years, look where we have gone in that with that issue. And if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte was the town that created the whole bathroom issue that was picked up nationwide and run with when the Democrats saw an opportunity to seize upon it in order to get votes and all. And that's where the big transgender movement and all really took hold. And you see how quickly it has progressed from, Bruce Jenner becoming Caitlyn Jenner and the way that America was kind of dumbfounded by that, to now what the transgender movement has become. I mean, it's astonishing how quickly that happened, to where it goes from being such a unique thing with Bruce Jenner to 10 short years later, it is the number one issue in a presidential election. They say that TV ad that President Trump ran against Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, sometimes I'm going to pronounce it Kamala because I grew up watching what was called Mid-South Wrestling. And they had Kamala, the Ugandan giant, was one of the wrestlers there. And so that still sticks in my head, the pronunciation. But be that as it may. The TV ad that President Trump ran that, talked about transgender surgeries for prisoners and all of that Kamala Harris, wanted the government to pay for. And the last line of the ad said, Kamala Harris is for they, them. Trump is for you, or Trump is for America, or something like that. So it goes from 10 short years of being such a unique situation to so mainstream that it's the defining issue in a presidential campaign. Man. So if they can turn it into that so quickly, then we can turn this show into being high rated, in a couple of months, I think. if we just put our minds to it. And that doesn't even require anybody having surgery. Just rally all of your friends together and all of their friends and just say, hey, listen to this brilliant, candy-coated host on WBT every night. And then you know what? We'll be solid. We'll be solid. Grow the family. That's what we need to do. Grow the family. Okay, so our friend Snow White is on the phone. I just love her. And she's been waiting for a while. Miss Snow White, how are you tonight, hon?
I'm doing okay, and I just love you too, and I'm so glad you're on tonight, and I hope you're going to have a good long career here at WBT. But I have a couple solutions for these baby doll moms.
Okay, so this is the story we were talking about earlier about these women who pretend like these baby dolls are their real kids, even taking them to the doctor and stuff. So what is the solution?
Well, maybe two.
Okay.
First of all, if they want to take care of babies that much, become a foster parent, because there are a lot of babies that don't leave the hospital with their moms.
Yeah.
For one reason or another, or that have been abandoned and that sort of thing. So that'd be a great one.
Yeah.
Another one would be go to work at a daycare center for a week. And they spend, and I admire those ladies that do that sort of thing, because they have to have the patience of Job.
Yeah.
And I think if they spend a week, 2 weeks, a month doing daycare, they'd probably like to be able to spend the evening, a quiet evening somewhere.
Yeah. My mom was an elementary school teacher, a.k.a. a government agent. And when she got home, she would always say, I don't want to hear anything from kids for the rest of the evening. And we go, okay.
That's right.
Okay, but we're your kids, Mama. We're your kids. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want y'all to be quiet, too.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Well, thank you very much. And it's so good to hear from you. And you are always a bright spot. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
All
and
right.
I'm going to be listening and calling, and I'm hoping that a lot more of the ladies will get over their fear and go ahead and give you a call. And I look forward to hearing you every night I can.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a blessed night.
You too.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you.
Now, how sweet is she? I always hit the wrong button and can't get the phone to drop. There it is. Okay. She gets me all gushy inside. Makes me hit the wrong buttons. She's super sweet. But, those are good suggestions that she has about, how to handle a situation where women are pretending that baby dolls are real babies. But yeah, they would have to pass a psych eval, though, before I would want them in a daycare or in a hospital with children. They may just decide to take off running with one of them. I always said, though, that because I love babies, I always said that I would like to do one of those programs sometime where you go and hold the babies in the nursery that, maybe the preemies or something like that. But I'm scared I would, want to try to take one home. Can we keep it? I do. I love babies, and I act a fool when I'm around them, too. I'm just a complete idiot when I'm around babies. Talking all silly and making silly faces. You can say, eat your face off. Just kiss them to death. Maybe I need one of these dolls. I sound as crazy as those women. Well, I mean, crazy in a good way, That I sound crazy in a good way. They're not crazy in a good way. They need help. They need to go to the hospital. Look at that. Time flies. Years fly. The show is already just about over. I got about a 45-minute drive to get to enjoy WBT, the great one. Mark Levin is coming up next. But I got to tell you, I'm worried about my LSU Tigers baseball team tonight. They got a win to go to Super Regionals, and this team beat them last night that shouldn't have beaten them, and then now they got to play them again. Got me nervous. All right, that's it for tonight. Remember, God loves you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. I'll see you tomorrow.
Burger sauces and hot dog sauces are so popular right now, and the best I've had come from Chicago and Big Fork brands. Along with Chicago's finest sauces, Big Fork also has delicious bacon sausage, mouth-watering bacon hot dogs, keto and paleo-friendly meat sticks, and a whole lot more. And you're going to get a big 20% discount right now when you go to tjritchie.com/deals and use the code GANG at checkout. Do it now. You're going to love it. Hey, it's TJ, and yes, my new political show is on. It's every weeknight from 7 until 9 on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT. So go ahead and add TJ Ritchie to your home screen on the phone and download the WBT app.